Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Robinson here again, and we are going to continue our Teacher Time show. Today, we got a big one. Well, Maya Angelou said, I learned that people will forget what you said, people may forget what you did, but people will never, ever forget how you made them feel. I run into a lot of my former students, and a lot of them are older, bigger than I am, and they recognize me, and I'm from years back, and say hello and let me know they enjoyed the movies we made and the time we spent in class. So I'm like, wow, it's nice to be remembered, and I'm sorry I don't remember you as well, but I'm happy that you're working and doing good for yourself, so please keep it up. Thank you for your nice compliments. So it's nice when students recognize you out there in the street somewhere and give you a compliment of all the stuff you tried to help them with and that you did. So keep it up, teachers. It does pay off in the end. So I'm going to keep going with our observation topic. I got a big domain to deal with, number 2, and there's a lot to it. So I'll try to get through as much as possible. If I can't get through it, I will continue with part 2 of this. So I told you before in the Domain Teacher movie, we're all human. We make mistakes. Everybody may not be as perfect as some other teachers in certain things, but we all make mistakes and slip up there somewhere. So think of your observation as a chance to regroup, learn. That's what the administrators are looking for, you to learn and grow as an educator. That's their job, to bring out the best in you. I mentioned our lesson plan guide. You may want to check out the Domain 1 movie. And I'm going to talk again about Miss Danielson, her framework for evaluation, the Danielson framework. I'm going to Domain 2, very important topic, the classroom environment. So it's going to take up a lot of time. I'll do my best to take it easy and slow so you can get it. So I'm going to try to get through from 2A to 2E, but believe me, it's a lot. So let's get started. So Domain 2, the classroom environment. So Domain 2, the classroom environment, the first thing we have to start off with and know what they're looking for, or the administrators are looking for, that we have an environment that has respect for each other, some type of rapport, where the teachers and the students' interaction is great. Because when administrators walk in the classroom, they could tell right away whether the kids are hostile to the teacher or adversarial relationship going on there. So administrators can tell that as they observe. So I'll try to get through that, establishing a culture for learning as well. And 2C is kind of big, but I will try to get into managing classroom and procedure. That might be where I stop, or if I can, I'll keep going on. 2D, managing student behavior, which is an excellent topic. I got some nice pointers about that. And organizing the physical space, and I think I talked about that in one of my videos about group work, and that's how I organize my class. All right, last time we mentioned the key words that should be used for the performance level of the teacher. If you have your students doing all the work and they are deep in thought, thorough, questioning other students, and it's respectful, the kids are skillful in asking questions and teaching each other, and that is some class. That is what the highly effective teacher will be doing. He may not do it all the time, but it'll be self-evident when the administrator is observing. The proficient teacher, though, is not bad. They're not as the distinguished teachers, because the regular teacher who's just proficient, nothing wrong with being regular, they pretty much run the class themselves. They ask for very little assistance from the kids, and it's a good classroom. The kids love the teacher loves the kids, but when the kids run the show, it's a lot different. So, what do administrators look for? So, I'm going to go over the classroom environment domain 2, and they do look out for teachers whose classroom routines and procedures are either non-existent or inefficient, resulting in a loss of much instructional time. And teachers, I gotta tell you, if you're not in that classroom at the beginning of the period, the administrators look and they know it. They give you a few minutes to walk in, but you have to get in there because the kids are waiting for you. If they see you out there talking with your friends and having a good time for about 10 minutes into class and not coming in, then the kids will realize, oh, that's not a serious teacher. They just are here collecting a paycheck. And that is something administrators know. They may not say anything to you about it, but they do know. That's because the kids usually tell them. So student behavior is poor, with no clear expectation, no monitoring of student behavior or inappropriate response to student behavior. When students are in an observation with a teacher, the teacher, sometimes I knew some who said, I'm going to give everybody $5 or give you a special prize or present if you're really, really well behaved while the administrator's here. So students being students, or at least some of them, like me when I was a student, will show my true colors and not let you get away with it. I would be myself, and I was a very, very, very bad student. So when you are being observed, the administrator is hoping and looking for, in the environment of respect, they're looking for a student to assume much of the responsibility and establishing a culture for learning in the classroom by taking pride of their work, initiating improvements to their product, and holding the work to the highest standard. Wow. Teacher demonstrates a passionate commitment to the subject. That means those types of teachers and students are really, really getting a handle on it. Myself, how I do a few things that are different, I give the students a lot more leeway. For example, I cannot be running up and back and forth from the board to my computer to go to the next screen, so I share the responsibility with computer monitors or my computer assistants. I just say, okay, who's my assistant for this week? Get over there. And I have my smartboard set up for my lesson slides, and they just click the lesson, and they're responsible also because they have to copy down the notes in their notebook. So I let the students do the work. And did you know that's something that the administrators admire? They say, oh, he has a student doing some work. And not only that, I have a student who writes on the board certain things that I like, the score of my groups. So I'm letting the students do some share in the responsibility, and you would be surprised how the kids really want to do that. They would like to be up there on display and writing things down on the board. So that's something that really, really gets the administrators excited. Class routines and procedures are seamless in their operation, and students assume considerable responsibility for their smooth functioning. I have assistants Teacher assistants, I just tell them we're giving out this handout, take care of it, and they know what to do to go around. I have two teacher assistants in case one is absent, and they give out my handouts so I don't have to run around the room giving each one a handout. And those assistants do a great job for me. They're not getting into fights with anybody. They're just giving out handouts. And again, the administrator sees that because they say, wow, he has someone giving out the paper, because they figure the teacher would be giving out the papers all by themselves and taking a long time to do that. So that's something you want to do. I think I mentioned that in one of my cooperative learning videos, and I award points for those people, and I even give them $1 at the end of the week for doing a great job. So I don't do that every week, but I'd like to let them know that they are appreciated. All right, I'm looking at some of these pictures here, and I see Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and I saw that movie recently, and I also looked up this other movie, Teachers, because I think I had a few things that I said in my other movie about that. So if you go back to 1984, I think, Teachers with Nick Nolte in it, one of the stars, Teachers, and you'll find some interesting teachers in there as well as some great teachers. So, and they did some different things that really, really made me happy what I do. And on the bottom here it says Math Prep 22. That's a movie that I made to with my students to demonstrate certain things in mathematics that we prep for our New York State tests. We make one every year. We've been doing it since 2000, I think, or 2001. So every year, me and all my classes, we get together and make a math movie that the students and myself, we write. So that's something that you could also use. I went to a meeting with administrators and certain teachers, and one of them asked me, what was I doing there? And I said, my principal told me he wanted me to come to this meeting, and as much as I hate meetings, I had to go and go there and see what they were doing. And I went there and I looked and listened to what they said, but I'm like, they're not saying anything that I haven't done already, so I didn't really enjoy it as much as I thought. I thought they were going to give me a lot of different ideas that I haven't used, but it was pretty much of the things that I've done. And I think one of the things the lady said, she said, it would be great if you could take pictures of your students or make a movie. Has anybody ever done that with their students? And I was the only one who raised my hand about that. And they said, oh, you do that? And I said, oh yeah, I've been doing that since 1994, I think. And they said, whoa, that's what you're doing in here. So I look at the things that Ms. Danielson wrote, and again, I say it's a lot to go over, so let me keep going because there's a lot to say. All right, and let me just go back for 1 second. 2A, creating the environment of respect and rapport. That's what they look for, the administrators look for. Establishing a culture of learning, managing classroom procedures, managing student behavior. That's 2D, and there's a 2E. Let me go to the next slide. Here's 2E, organizing the physical space. So what's interesting about that last one, the classroom environment, organizing physical space, 2E component, I have pictures of my room. In Math Prep 22, we divided the room up into 2 desks for those 2 students who would play against each other. They had a buzzer that whoever could answer the question and go up on the front board and demonstrate it to the other students. They would win a prize, and I was looking for who was the best and smartest and fastest student out of all my classes. And this was a movie we made called Math Prep 22. In this middle picture, I have again my smartboard up front, and I see looks like my score chart up there on the board. And this organization of the desk was interesting because I actually had an assistant teacher, and she would work with me, and I had Spanish kids who only spoke Spanish, so I would work with them sometimes, and I had them sitting here in the U shape where I would go in the middle and talk to them in Spanish and show them how to do the math, whereas my assistant, she took care of the other half of the room. So they love when you utilize your space. For distinguished teachers, the classroom environment has got to be safe. Learning is accessible to all students, including those with special needs. The teacher makes effective use of the physical space, the physical resources, including the computer technology. And that's my smart card up there with my computer on it. And I have a student who's my computer monitor doing that, and the smart card has music and everything, and they're in charge of that. So, and I'm sorry, I'm making a movie, so let me continue. The teacher ensures that the physical arrangement is appropriate to the learning activities. Students contribute to the use or adaptation of the physical environment to advance learning. Sometimes I have to adjust my table and a student might say, how about trying this? Because the U shape I wasn't used to, and the student said, why don't you put it in the U so that way you can get in the middle and you could see all of us. And I'm like, hey, that's a good idea. So different teachers, like here's the movie, teachers, the social studies teacher had all the kids helping him row the boat, and he was playing, I believe, General George Washington, and the kids are having fun and enjoying it, and that's what the administrators look for, that the kids are enjoying as well. And for proficient, they have to have equal access to the learning activities. So the teacher ensures that the furniture arrangement is appropriate to the learning activities and uses the physical resources, including computer technology, effectively. All right, what teachers should do. So I talked about what the administrators do. Now I'm going to go on to 2A, creating an environment of respect and rapport. So the essential skill of a teacher is that of managing relationships with students and ensuring the relationships among students are positive and supportive. I know some teachers who get very tired because the kids won't stop talking and they're yelling and screaming at them, and even some teachers say, hey, I'm not going to say anything until you all get quiet because I get paid whether you learn or not, and that is not appropriate to be saying to the students, because students talk. They tell their parents that stuff. The parents get in there and talk to the principal or talk to the superintendent, and next thing you know, you got a big mess on your hands. So please make sure you're positive and supportive. It goes a long way. I know you can get angry at the students. The students can make you want to pull your hair out, but you gotta remain positive. And the students these days, they'll take out their cell phone and try to see if they can make you do something out of character and get you in real serious trouble. So be careful, be respectful in your environment, make all students feel safe and valued and comfortable taking intellectual risks. In my classes, I make sure that everybody knows from the beginning this is a safe environment for learning. I don't expect anybody to be telling jokes or making people feel bad because they're trying. Everybody is not the smartest in the class. I am. And I let them know that just because this is not the accelerated class, you have the accelerated teacher or one of the accelerated math teachers. So I'm going to treat you as you're in my accelerated class. And I expect a whole lot of you. So the students realize that, oh, wow, this guy's going to really treat us like that? Let me see. And they'll watch. And when they see that you respect them, you are distinguishing yourself from other teachers that they may have that may not do that kind of thing. And you'll be surprised how much the behavior will change because they see you are caring and interacting with them, and they will do what you want, and they'll show that same respect to others. Elements of component number 2A are teacher interactions with students include both words and actions. A teacher's interaction with students sets the tone of the classroom. Did you not know, as teachers, you can make a child's day great or terrible with just a few words? So try to make sure your words are seasoned with grace, as they say in my church, because the students will respond if you're respectful to them. I tell them, I say, yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yes, Mrs. Or I'll call them Mr. So-and-so, Mr. Gonzalez. Yes, whatever their last name is. I say, yeah, I respect you so much. I call you Mr. or Sir. Mrs. or Madam. Yes. And they see that. They say, wow, this teacher is really taking time to be respectful. And when you give respectful talk, you let them know that you're respecting that in turn. So they'll listen to you, take turns talking, because in my class, they know nobody talks while I'm talking. Check out my video on those 2 rules I have. So one of them is about talking while I'm talking. Acknowledgement of the student's background and lives outside the classroom. I asked the students, anybody going to the girls' basketball team today, or the boys' basketball team, or the football game today? And they say, yeah. You going, Dr. Robinson? And I said, yeah, I plan on dropping by. And I dropped by. One time I brought one of my sons, and the kids saw us there, and they were like, oh, wow, thank you for coming, because, none of my teachers ever showed up to one of my football games. And I'm like, hey, I like football, so I'll try to come back again. Maybe I'll bring my other son. So when students see that you are interested in their lives, like I had a student who was very tough, and I had a hard time with him, but I found out he played baseball, and I asked him, hey, when's your next baseball game? And when he told me, I said, oh, good, I'm coming by. And he said, you're coming by? I said, yeah, I used to coach baseball. And I came by and saw him, and he got a great hit. And I told him in the next day in class that I was really, really proud of him inviting me to his baseball game, because he did very, very well. I said, I didn't know you could play so well. I said, when you got that hit and it looked like it was going over the fence, I thought you had a home run, but you do very well in baseball. I was very proud of you. Maybe you'll become a professional baseball player. His life in my classroom changed so much. He was never a pain again, and he was a tough kid. So warmth and caring shown by a teacher to students will change how the student reacts to you. I guarantee. Here's a movie we made, Math Prep 2018, called Math Prep 18, where we had a student who was having some problems, and if you haven't seen it, I would say check it out. I see a teacher up there reading a paper while class is going on. I wouldn't do that because I heard he fell asleep in the movie, and one of the students took a picture of him and wasn't a good deal. So, what else should a teacher do? This is getting tiring. Let's see. The unsatisfactory teacher, student's body language indicates feelings of hurt, discomfort, or insecurity. If you look at this young lady up here, she looks like, what is this teacher saying? Why am I in this classroom? And when administrators see that you're boring the students and they're not following you, you have a problem. Students sometimes roll their eyes in the back of their head and the teacher doesn't respond to their body language because they're not reading the body language of the students. They're like, move on already. You've driven your point past home. So, this is a lot. The distinguished teacher, he reflects genuine warmth, caring, sensitivity to students as individuals because everybody's different. You can't treat them all the same way because they're different people. The net result of an environment like that is where all students feel valued and are comfortable and taking intellectual risk as a result. I see down here Math Prep 17. That's a movie we made 2017. This student, I met him the other day and he told me he's teaching also. And I'm like, wow, I have another student who's doing what I do, teaching. So there's that movie Teachers. I see here's a teacher who was interesting, asking questions in social studies, I believe, and answering it also. So, very good movie. I think I'm going to stop right here, and I got a lot more to go. So, I'm going to stop right here, because that bell means wrap it up, Robinson. So, if you want to see more, check me out on YouTube. My name is Dan Robinson, PKMS. Subscribe to our channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like what we're doing. Check out some of our student movies, PKMS, Peekskill Middle School, Math Prep 21 is there. There's a bunch of them. We're on Tuesdays on Cablevision, our Teacher Time show from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. We're also on in Peekskill Listening, Channel 15. Yorktown channel is Channel 74. And we're also on in New Rochelle, Channel 76. Our Math Time show is on Tuesdays at 4:30 p.m. to 5 p.m. on the same channels. And there's a little Spanish up there to read. So if you want more information, you can write me at robinsonmath@aol.com. So I hope you enjoyed our teacher show. I hope I didn't do too much talking, but if you didn't get anything out of the movie, I say watch it again. It's a good movie. So enjoy yourself. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.